morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Wednesday the 1st of September. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against US dollar, looking at the outer candlesticks, bearish start to the day, going to need to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 47,375 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 48,026. Support from the broader market is going to be needed for Bitcoin to break back through to 48. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 48,244 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Bitcoin target 50,000 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 48,894. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 46,507 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid sub 45,000 levels. Second major support level at 45,856 should limit the downside. Looking at MACD's, widening of the bearish histogram at the turn of the day, that's coming off the back of this morning's pullback. Fails bullish cross late yesterday, so keep an eye out for a widening of the bearish histograms through the morning. On the MAs, that's a bearish signal 50 pulling further back from the 100 and 200, with the 100 also pulling back from the 200, suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to move through the pivot at 47,375 and back through to 48,000 levels. Failure to do that, support levels will be in play. Moving across to Ethereum against US dollar, also bearish start. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot and the 23.6% fib, both at 3369, to support a run at the first major resistance level at 3548. We'll need plenty of support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 3500 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of another breakout, got the second major resistance level at 3665 to cap the upside on the day. Fall through the pivot and the 23.6% fib will bring the first major support level 3252 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 3100 levels. Second major support level is at 3073. Looking at MACD's, bearish cross at the turn of the day, so keep an eye out for direction there. Any further widening would test support. On the MAs, however, that's a bullish signal 50 pulling away from the 100 and the 200, suggesting upside ahead. So key would be to avoid the pivot and the 23.6% fib and move back through to 3500 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Across the Litecoin against US dollar, tracking the broader market, going to need to Litecoin move back through the pivot 171 to take a run at the first major resistance level 176. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break back through to 175. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Litecoin target 185 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 181. Would need plenty of support, however, for Litecoin to break out from the 23.6% fib at 178. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level 166 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should avoid sub 160s. Second major support level 161 should limit the downside. Looking at MACD's, widening of the bearish histogram this morning, so that's supporting this morning downside. Keep an eye out for that for further direction. On the EMAs, more significantly, bearish signal 50 pulling further back from the 100 and the 200, suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to move back through the pivot at 171 and back through to 175 to bring resistance levels into play. Failures to do that, support levels will be in play. Looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, also bearish start. Going to see Ripple's XRP move back through the pivot at 1.1737 to take a run at the first major resistance level 1.2556. We'll need plenty of support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's high. It was at 1.24279. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of another breakout, got the second major resistance level at 1.3247 to limit the upside on the day. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1.1046 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid the 38.2% fib at 1.0659. Second major support level sits at 1.0227. Looking at the MACD's, marked narrowing of the bullish histograms through late yesterday and the turn of the day, so look out for a bearish cross there. On the MAs, 50s closing in on the 200, however, so a bullish cross would support another breakout. So key would be to move back through the pivot at 1.1737, breakout from yesterday's high at 1.24279. Failure to do that and support levels will come into play.